Hello folks, welcome back. Today we're going to go over my favorite paintings of 2023. In fact, we're going to go through everything I painted in 2023. I'm going to tell you my favorite one that I painted. So it'll be my favorite painted miniature, but that's narrowed down, of course, by what I've had here in front of me to paint and did willingly paint. Lord knows I got plenty more to paint here somewhere else, and I might have liked one of those better, but it didn't make the table. I did a 2022, everything I painted in 2022, and I thought that was kind of interesting. These are just pictures from Facebook and Instagram, which there'll be a link to down below. A lot of great stuff in 2023. It was my first big Dungeons & Lasers haul. I got the Dungeons & Lasers Encounters. I got The Witcher. I've got Lords of Ragnarok, and a lot of other kind of miscellaneous stuff mixed in there too. So let's take a look. So without further ado, let's take a look. So it looks like I was finishing up Hellboy, or one of the Hellboy expansions last year. Yeah, a lot of great characters in this. The Mantic minis aren't maybe my favorite minis in terms of quality, but they're always really interesting. I thought this lady, sort of a masculine face there for a little girl, but I get a little bit lazy with some of these things, like looking back at them, especially in the stills. Like I'll paint a whole bunch of stuff at once, like kind of production line things. I try to get it to that tabletop quality, but sometimes that works out and sometimes it doesn't. Alright, so here is Agent Sherman, all inflamed. She came out pretty good. You got the evolved Abe Sapien. Again, I think this was my favorite of this bunch of dudes. The Sledgehammer came out really good. A lot of fun characters. It looks like they do some real dynamic poses and stuff like that, but some of the models are just kind of weird. Hellboy is a weirdly drawn thing, and not something that is probably easy to reproduce in 3 dimensions, so give them a little bit of a pass. There's a dragon. Alright, and then we start getting into some DEI expansions. This guy came out great. Cash and Rads, probably. Yeah, that's the Rads there. There's the dudes selling stuff with their little signs of things for sale. I love that. They got little shop signs. Yep, we got some Purebloods. And one of those commanders from the Purebloods, one of the special ones. The alternate leaders and stuff for DEI. Man, I had fun painting that. These things are so small. Really, really small little things there. Oh, man. Yeah, I liked that leader a lot. She looked pretty cool on the bike. The other mech. Okay, and then we're getting into the Dungeons & Lasers Dulcere that delivered. And we've got the, I keep wanting to call it Rathalos. It's not that, it's bigger. Let's get this big, big monster here. Man, that is such a cool model. I've just got Hellboy there for scale, but yeah, that was a big one from Dungeons & Lasers. I think I built and painted that first. You got this thing for free when you backed at a certain level. And you know what? This wasn't even Dulcere. This was the first one. This was the Encounters one. Yeah, you got this for free at a certain pledge level, and boy, what a great trick that was, because that worked, and I've been buying Dungeons & Lasers stuff ever since. I wanted that thing so bad. Came out really cool too. I kind of went with a different color scheme, kind of an earthy color scheme. I figured maybe he'd be hiding in the mountains to kind of ball up or something and sleep for 100 years. That's the way they do. More Dungeons & Lasers stuff. Digging into those Encounters things. This dragon was neat. I really enjoyed painting that dragon there. It's like a baby dragon, I think it was. Very cool. Then we got into these guys. I actually just sent this dude to the Pulp Alley guys. along with a bunch of other model kits. It's kind of a preview for Dulcere. And it looks like we got some more Dungeons and Lasers encounters, uh, like bonus terrain. They're the stuff you get just as a bonus to the actual terrain. Really enjoyed painting all of these things. I painted all this stuff and just stored it away. I don't play live action Dungeons and Dragons or anything. So I need to find out another way to play with it. I'm hoping to play some Pulp Alley with this stuff. All right, so here we have the giant. This is a female giant. I magnetically attached the face on there so that that can just pop right off and right back on. We got a little magnet right there in the forehead. I hit it in that little spot in her hair. Bop! Again, Hellboy for scale. She is probably the prettiest giant I've ever seen. This little owl there. She's got the sweet little face. And we got a cage for someone. We got the horse. I put the. Someone pointed out that I put the thing on upside down, but I fixed that. Did I fix that? I can't remember now. That's magnetically attached too. Got some stuff from the giant terrain. I loved this terrain. Boy, it's gonna be hard to pick. Really, really neat. I love the little bird nest on top. Like the feeling that that's just been there for a long time. And these other kind of random pillars that have fallen and stuff, and one that was still remaining. I tried to draw a little magical pool down in there in the middle of it. I ended up breaking this in half because it was impossible to store this way. But by breaking it in half right here at the middle, I'm able to more easily store it in the way that I have to store things, and I don't think it messes it up too bad. But that was a neat little piece of that. And we did some more kind of scattered terrain with these bushes. I've been using these acrylic circles, these clear acrylic bases. They're a little bit thicker and they're a little shiny. I'm not sure if I'm completely happy with them. I might go back in actually and decorate them out eventually. For right now, just kind of trying something. I love the clear bases on the individual characters, and I thought I would like it on these things too. I love it's got this little dude on top. But I don't know. I'll have to play with them a couple of times and see what I think about those clear bases or not. Let me know what you think. It was kind of a neat way to make little scenes. So I took all this kind of scattered terrain that would just be little individual things in there and made little areas. Here's my spider queen. I actually made her a whole little cave. Gave me a place to put all these nests and cocoons and stuff. She comes off of that cave, and then I just painted a black circle down in there like it's going down into the caves, which leads perfectly into the Dungeons and Lasers caves, which is coming next year. So I'm hoping to use her in a scenario, and then you venture into the cave and you go fight other spider people and stuff. She came out pretty good. I don't think that's my favorite one I painted last year, I guess. All right. We got some mushrooms. Oh, and then we get into The Witcher. So The Witcher was another thing I painted completely last year. In fact, I painted all of it, and then I did not play it. I have still not played it again since I finished painting it. I played someone else's copy, but not my own. I'm ready to play it again, though. I love that game. I thought it was really fun. It takes forever to play it, especially when Owen and I play it, because we do it probably the wrong way. The way we play it's a little long. Yeah, The Witcher was an interesting game. I'm trying to discuss it. This eyeball in here is kind of nutty. I like the blue effect on his hand and stuff on there. All right. I got some talking to because she wasn't a platinum blonde. She was a little too orangey. I ended up repainting her later on. I repainted her hair so that it was more the way Cersei's should be. I wasn't a huge fan of the show, so I didn't know it was a thing. All right. I liked this guy's kind of portaling in. I think these were the witches and warlocks and stuff. Yeah. Then we start getting into the Witcher monsters. A lot of cool monsters in this one. Really a lot of really neat monsters. I had a lot of fun painting them. I think there was one in particular here that I was really enamored with. You see, I don't bother with the mold lines or anything like that. I probably should, like if I was a real serious painter and stuff, I should. But my goal is only to get them table ready or maybe a little touch above. And so I don't have time when I'm painting this many models to go through and clean them all up a whole lot. If I see something real egregious, I'll grab it. But and I probably should have grabbed that other one looking at it. But I'll see a lot of them. I try not to worry about it if I miss some stuff. And I just get it painted anyway. Oh, I stopped for a little break in the middle of Witcher to paint this Frostpunk Tower, which I'm really happy with. I eventually went and got all the terrain for this. I've still only played the game about twice. Alright, we got some basic witchy kind of lady here. Back into the Witcher stuff. That's a real interesting take on a harpy. These were super weird. I had to go into the video games and kind of reference what the heck some of these things were. It's really hard to paint some of these things if you don't know the lore behind them and stuff. But I think I did an okay job based on the video game stills that I saw. I thought this made a great thumbnail. I remember I used that for a thumbnail in one of the videos. Yep. This is a little bonus thing. This is what I wish my Cthulhu Death May Die little fish people came out like. But he came out okay, but those fish people didn't. Oh, I really liked this guy. Thought he was just real spooky looking. Oh, and this thing just jumping. What a dynamic pose, like jumping off of that, whatever that is, a piece of a barn somewhere. Some bug action. Got Mr. I'm on fire inside action. Whatever these little things are, still haven't played them yet. This guy looks nice and spooky. Gave him some glowing eyes. I tend to cheat on the eyes as much as I can. I hate drawing the little dots. I'll get one that looks alright and one that's enormous. This bug thing, wyvern looking thing. I think this was a mermaid. Boy, that's a different take on mermaids too. I can't remember for sure. Don't flame me if I got it wrong. We got centipedes. Got a giant. This is a pretty cool looking giant. It's got a big anchor thrown around. Okay. I think this was my favorite thing to paint out of The Witcher, at least. I loved this guy. And I thought he came out pretty good. Got Cyclops. Boy, there's a lot of stuff in there. Another one of those sisters. This thing. This thing was really neat too. It was sitting there on a carcass even. This lady. I think I dated her in college. Got this frog thing with little eggs on its back. There are some frogs that actually do that. It's really interesting that they made a big monster one. Got this little lesser kraken or something. Oh, I can't remember what some of these things are, and I didn't always label what they are. Some boats. That guy. Oh man, so many monsters in this. I mean, it just goes on and on. Okay, now we're up to Volfurion. This is a card game, and it comes with this dragon, or you can get it with this dragon. All right, so this brings me to Lords of Ragnarok, and this is I was really worn out after The Witcher, and I wanted to try my own version of Sundrop. So I experimented with these little small characters. These are little tiny pieces from that Lords of Ragnarok game that you put out to, I think they're your priests that you put out. And then I started moving into their warriors and stuff, and I thought the effect came out really well. Basically, it's one color of speed paint or contrast paint, and then I would go on top of it and I'd take an acrylic paint and whiten it up a little bit, and then dry brush over the top to kind of give a further effect. That came out really good. It made these things paint up really fast, and I feel like they look pretty good. Like like it was good, definitely good enough for this. And I went ahead and fully painted out the heroes and stuff like that, but all their minions and their troops and stuff like that, I just knocked all of that out with this sun drop method in about a quarter of the time it would take. I did the same thing for these statues. With these, I really tried to mimic that sun drop effect. Then, of course, with the heroes, I went ahead and painted them as good as I could. Really put a little extra effort in there since I had all that time, since I didn't get worn out painting all their troops and stuff like that. I was really happy with the way most of these came out. I really love this first guy. Really liked him a lot. That's one of the few I had a reference for, too, to paint. Some of their reference material wasn't that great. These other ones, they're okay. They came out pretty good. The characters themselves are really interesting and fun, kind of the cyber biking kind of feel to them. There's that Valkyrie character. It was like a special one you could get. I had some fun experimenting with like metallics. This is basically painting something with a metallic color and then another contrast paint color on top of it to give it like it's a colored metal feel. The monsters for this were a lot of fun. Really had a good time painting all this stuff. This is another one that kind of got that curse where I painted all of this, I put it back in the box, and I have not played it. So I was posting these in September 2023, and I still have not played it since I put it away. But I have not played it since I painted it. So it's probably time to break it out again. A lot of us had fun playing this. It got some kind of mixed reviews from a particular reviewer and stuff. One that didn't like that the fertility god had breasts. But I thought it played really fun. I thought it was a good time. So who cares what they say? It was fun to paint too. So this one had, if you wanted to, you could get these extra bases. So they have these illustrations of like sacred sites around the board, and they made little miniatures for them, which I thought was really neat. These were kind of a pain to paint. There were weird scales, and I wasn't sure what I was looking at half the time. They did have a problem, like they had a misprint like on one of the bases of one of the things, not these things, but one of the monsters. I had to scrape off the ruin that it had shown there because they had the wrong one on there. This one was really neat. I love the hands and stuff. And, yeah, that's another one. These are all those little bases, those clans that you can... and this represents a town or something like that. I really love the pool of water there in the middle. These, I think, were the temples or something you could build. This is from the game Sumo Gnomes. These are little 3D printed things that came with a game called Sumo Gnomes that I painted up for fun. Back to some Dungeons and Lasers encounters. We've got a frogman with a spear. I think we got another one here with a sling. Gave him a little leather hat. That'll be armored up. We've got this thing, which reminds me a lot of the Witcher one. Kind of a Wendigo looking guy. We got some crabs. Some little crabs. Big crab. Gargoyle. Whatever the hell this is. This is probably the grossest thing I painted for the whole year. Sitting there carrying his leg around. Boat. Did a terrible job on that. But it's done. That looks terrible, especially that picture. We got this little... another little scene that I made out of the scatter terrain from the Dungeons and Lasers stuff. A little campsite next to some ruins. And here we got some sort of well. And another little scene. I think I added some trees and stuff that I had. This is like... Oh, this is like a campsite along the road. So you got this little secret little lean-to made. See, they've made a little disguise. It's like a camping with Steve kind of thing. And then there's like a big jawbone. You see he's camping here behind that. He's kind of camouflaged himself here next to the road. Obviously, a little road sign. Good news for somebody. All right, and we got another little hut here. Looks like a witch doctor or something like that. Got this little altar. Went ahead and made scary as I could. Got this thing was neat. There's so much scattered terrain in that Dungeons and Lasers encounters. From now on, I'm just going to call it DNL. Got a little snake here. This is another one from the Dulcere kind of preview thing. Another little monster. I liked his little turtle shell pad he had on his shoulder. Oh my gosh, so much. Okay, this is something I painted for a friend of mine, Chris, from Sleeping Gods. This is the original one. It's kind of wobbly, so I added some water to the base, kind of make it look interesting. And I thought it came out pretty good. This is my Hellboy, my Hellboy cup holder that Owen 3D printed for me and gave me. As you can see, it'll hold a cup in there. I've actually always got it behind me over here on the wall. That's what that is. Another thing that I got from Frostpunk. This is the Dreadnought, and it's pretty neat. This is actually from Zombicide. Owen wanted to be dwarf witch hunters for Pulp Alley. He wants me to do a Pulp Alley thing with dwarf witch hunters, and so I have broken out every dwarf I have in my unpainted miniatures. So these are all from, I think at least these two, is all three of them? Yeah, all three of these are from Zombicide, the medieval Zombicide there.
So it seems I lost my audio here for this very small portion of the video, but here we have a selection of lovely harpies. Really pretty harpies from Dungeons & Lasers and some crazy mermaids. We got the crazy one and the wholesome one. Very good.
More Dungeons & Laser characters. She's very nature-y. Probably my least favorite Dungeons & Lasers thing was this Cerberus looking guy. He's tiny and he's wrong looking. This is the closest thing to a dude you'll get out of the Dungeons & Lasers encounter stuff. I think there's an old man too somewhere. Yeah, there's this guy and that other guy that probably dudes. I love this wizard though. Makes me want to use a wizard in something to have him out. This thing was kind of crazy looking. Got the Lady in the Lake kind of action there. It's like I gave her eyeballs. Got a sign, some ants, some snakes. Another one of the Dulcere preview characters. These are guys from Frostgrave. Frostgrave Cultist. I made these to be some sort of human bad guys for the Pulp Alley stuff. I think there's a close-up of one of the ones that... Was he not in that one? Oh yeah, I had one more with something that broke on him, so I had to fix it. Okay, that's the last one of those. And I painted a Rathalos. I believe this was... Is this the last thing I have in there? Yeah, this is my last image from 2023. It's a Rathalos that Owen gave me. Put it on a clear base. I don't have Monster Hunter. I just like the monster, so he sits and guards my game room. And that's all of 2023. I think I'm going to have to say my favorite across that whole year, it'd probably be the combination of... Oh gosh, it's so hard to pick. It's so hard to pick. Because I loved the DEI stuff a lot. It's so tiny. It's so tiny. And I loved... Okay. So I'm going to say the Tarrasque. The Tarrasque is my number one. I'll do three. The Giant, the Lady Giant there, is my number two. And I'm gonna pick this guy, from The Witcher. It's my number 3. And folks, that's all I have for you today. If you'd like to see everything I painted in 2022, if you want to go 1 year back, you can see Ankh and a bunch of other cool stuff. That's right here. Over here is going to be the 2024 stuff. I'm about to just film that also, so that should be out real soon. Until next time, enjoy your games, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.